The mighty Thor. Yeah, I wish I was Thor. Woodford Reserve is giving a nod to the olden days of whiskey making with its 18th release in the Masters Collection series with a new bourbon named Historic Barrel Entry. I honestly love when long-standing brands play with entry proofs to see how it affects their flavor profile. We will test it against some Woodford Double Oaked and see if we could find some big differences. Stay tuned. It is the Mash and Drum. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C. from the Mash and Drum. Welcome back to the show. Like, subscribe, and do all the things that you need to do to help grow the channel for 2023. Really appreciate the support, everybody. For this release, Woodford Reserve says its newly named Master Distiller Emeritus Chris Morris called upon the rich history of Kentucky bourbon and their own interests for inspiration. This is named Historic Barrel Entry due to the fact that the whiskey entered the barrel at only 100 proof. Now today, I mean, there are a lot of exceptions, but today whiskey will typically go into the barrel at around 125 proof. Usually once it comes off the still, you water it down 125, and then it goes in the barrel. Now the lowest entry proof I'm aware of is from Michter's right now, going in at 104 proof. But if you go back to the 19th century, the standard at that time was only between 100 to 103 proof. Chris Morris, Master Distiller Emeritus, who is a true historian, went on to say, a lower entry proof seems counterintuitive when one thinks of getting more flavor from the new charred barrel. In fact, many of the barrel extratives we desire are more water soluble than they are alcohol. By having a lower entry proof compared to the usual 110 proof entry that Woodford Reserve usually uses, will result in richer, sweet characteristics being absorbed from the barrels of that famed red layer of the barrel. All right, this is bottled at 90.4 proof, which is pretty standard for Woodford Reserve, aside from their batch proof and some of their other distillery exclusives, like the Bottle and Bond that comes in at 100 proof, obviously. Contains a mash bill, 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley. Available in select markets at a suggested retail price of about $130 per 700 milliliter bottle. So theoretically, this should be pretty sweet. And speaking of sweet, let's hear from today's video sponsor. It is my favorite new cereal in the world. It is Magic Spoon. That's right, Saturday morning cartoons and cereal is back for adults. That's right, it is Magic Spoon. Growing up, cereal is one of the best parts of being a kid, but as you get older, you can't eat the same stuff that you did as a kid all the time. I realized I had to give up all those cereals because it was full of sugar and junk, and you know, as you get older, staying in shape just gets tougher and tougher. Then I found Magic Spoon, the high protein, zero sugar cereal that will take you back to your childhood without all the sugar. For me, it's the perfect cereal to have either in the morning before I work out or to fuel back up after I work out. It's also a great tasting snack when you need something sweet, and they just added some new flavors that have quickly become new favorites, including blueberry muffin, which I think might be my favorite, but there's also another flavor, the long-awaited, wait for it, birthday cake. Magic Spoon cereals have 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and 4 to 5 net grams of carbs in each serving. Each serving is around 140 calories. They're also keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, and soy-free. Now before, Magic Spoon came in 4 delicious flavors, cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter. But now, along with the blueberry muffin and birthday cake, they have added cookies and cream and maple waffle. All the flavors that will take you back to having some cereal as a kid while watching Thundercats and Transformers. At least that's what I watched. But this birthday cake flavor, it's like someone took a bunch of little confetti cupcakes, shrunk them down, made them crunchy, and then put them in my bowl. Basically, every day is my birthday. So before you watch the end of today's video, click the link below in the description to get some Magic Spoon cereal today. You can build your very own variety packs and use my code MASH for $5 off. You can choose from the best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cinnamon roll, and even more. But wait, Magic Spoon is now adding the fan favorite flavor birthday cake to their permanent collection that will now be available for purchase all year round. So be sure to add birthday cake to your custom box today. By the way, Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Gotta love that. So click the link below or scan that QR code on the screen and use code MASH for $5 off. Remember to add that birthday cake to your custom box. I'm gonna go watch some cartoons. All right, here we go. Let's go into the nose, guys. Immediately, I get caramel apple banana. Caramel apple banana in this one. It is pretty sweet on the nose. Hint of like a chocolate covered coffee bean. But man, that caramel apple note is strong for me, and it's like a ripe red apple to me. It's a really nice dark fruit note here, but like part of me wants to say cherry, but I feel like that's always the go-to when you think of dark fruit flavors. But this is almost like a, it's on the borderline of like a raisin. I don't know, like a very sweet raisin. Maybe a golden raisin rather than a dark raisin. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I really do like this nose. It's balanced. There's a lot going on here. Again, that raisin, caramel apple, a little bit of banana. Again, like that chocolate covered coffee bean thing going on a little bit, but it's a nice nose. I mean, 90.4 proof. Let's see what it does on the palate. Cheers, guys. This is a nice balanced Woodford Reserve. A lot of the flavors I was getting on the nose are definitely transitioning to the palate, especially that caramel apple note. Extremely strong for me up front. I think you do get a lot of the like sweet oak flavor in this. It's slightly drying, I think, because of that aspect, but man, it's sweet. It is more sweet than I remember Woodford Reserve being. Maybe not sweeter, but I think the flavors are a little bit more. Now, Woodford Reserve says, you know, there's like 200 something flavors to find in Woodford Reserve. I mean, okay, but maybe that's the case here, but they're just different flavors. Yeah, again, more of that banana, golden raisin, little bit of chocolate. I think the chocolate is coming through a little bit more now. It's not so much a dark chocolate. I think this is more milk chocolate for me. It's a little bit lighter. It's not so heavy and dense and rich. Again, the 90.4 proof point, I think is, yeah, would I like it higher? But again, you guys got to remember, Woodford Reserve has a very, I say it all the time, they have a very loyal following for what they put out. And I think that proof point is, it's in a lot of people's wheelhouses. Not everybody wants to drink barrel proof whiskey like I do, or, you know, get that full flavor. Sometimes they want something a little bit sweet and easy. And I think this provides a nice little detour from the, you know, usual Woodford Reserve flavor profile. I am surprised at how much banana I'm getting in here. I didn't think I was gonna get that much, but maybe doing something with that lower entry proof is bringing out a little bit more of it. It's got this prickly finish on it. It's like rye spice and it's like oak spice, maybe a little baking spice too. But it actually kind of keeps it interesting. I think just like the rye, remember it's 18% rye, so I feel like it's it's enhanced by that lower entry proof, and you're getting a lot of that rye spice there. I'm not getting, you know, a lot of rye flavors. I'm not really getting like a mint or anything, but it's very sweet to me. I don't know, it's good. It's a solid bourbon. I don't know if it's $130 good though. I just think there's a little bit more going on flavor-wise. What I want to do is compare it to Woodford Double Oaked. I know it's a completely different type of whiskey making experience, but that's what everybody will say. Is it better than Woodford Double Oaked? Because that seems to be the universal product everybody loves from Woodford that's readily available. So if you can't beat that, then I don't know if you want to pay $130 for this. So let's find out. All right, Woodford Double Oaked, also 90.4 proof. But again, it's double oaked for, I think, almost a year in that second barrel. Obviously, double oak tends to be a little bit more sweet, you know, especially with that double oaking process with that toasted barrel. And then you have the this one with that lower entry proof, also aiming to bring out more sweetness than the standard Woodford. So let's see which sweet wins out, at least for me. Here we go. Now, color difference here. Not a huge color difference. I think the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked is slightly darker. What Double Oak gives you is the illusion of a little bit of an older bourbon profile, and I think that's what Woodford Double Oak does. There's a little bit more depth of flavor to it. The low barrel entry proof here. This is still definitely in that sweet profile, but it's a different sweet. Like I said, it's a brighter sweet. A little bit of honey's coming through now, like those honey-soaked golden raisins. All right, let's try the Woodford Double Oak. You know, you forget how good Woodford Double Oaked is. You know, so many folks are doing double oaked bourbons these days. You forget, like, you know, Woodford was the OG. I mean, they're the ones that kind of were the first to be really well known to do it. And generally the other folks that are doing it is a higher proof point. So this one tends to get overlooked, even though it's a damn good bourbon for the, you know, for 50s, what is this, 50, 60 bucks now? the really good sweet flavors, the toasted marshmallow is all there. A little bit of graham cracker, a lot of heavy cinnamon, those baking spices really shine through on the Woodford Double Oaked. Now, when you go to the historic barrel entry, doesn't hold up. I think this gives off some nice flavors, but it's just not gonna beat this out. All right, let me think about this because I have some things to say. Let's go to the final breakdown. All right, guys, we have a final breakdown here for the historic barrel entry proof from Woodford Reserve. Price, $130. Secondary market, you usually see these anywhere from $225 to $250 right off the jump, but as word gets out, that price will come down. Availability, it is limited, but Brown-Forman, Woodford Reserve, they have some really great distribution. So if you get a lot of Woodford Reserve in your area, generally you will see these. Value for this one. Value for this one for me is low. And the reason why I say low is because you're not giving me an age statement. I think an age statement on a Masters Collection series is sorely needed to warrant the price hike. Because this to me, yeah, I think it's a nice diversion from your usual Woodford Reserve, but at the same time, there's not enough there. You're not giving me enough to warrant paying practically $100 more than your standard Woodford Reserve. If you want me to pay $130 for this, or tell you to buy this for $130, put an 8, 9, 10-year age statement on here. Tell me what the age is. Yeah, it's a historic entry proof, but everybody knows Brown-Forman, Woodford, you're using heat-cycled warehouses. Generally, you're using younger whiskeys in all your products. Give me a high age statement or a higher proof to justify the price of this. Most I pay for this one, unless it goes on sale and I could get it at a cheaper price, I wouldn't go higher than retail for this. Alternatives, I think I mentioned an alternative before. If you want something kind of like this at a cheaper price, go get yourself a Michter's Small Batch. Michter's Small Batch goes into the barrel at 104 proof. You're looking at a lower, similar proof point, and it's about 40, 50 bucks. So you could experience what a really low entry proof is like without having to pay the huge markup for what Woodford is doing. All right, is it a recommend? Is it a skip? Is it a try before you buy? Is it a buy, or is it a buy and then back it up? For me, this one is a skip. I can't justify the price for this one with it. You're just giving me a lower entry proof, which is something that a lot of other distilleries have been doing. Peerless is going in at a low entry proof. Michter's is going in at a low entry proof. Wilderness Trail is going in at a lower entry proof. A lot of people are doing it because Woodford is doing it and upcharging it. Woodford is established enough to me that if you want people to buy these from now on, you gotta give them a nice age statement on it, or at least 100 proof, something with a little bit more oomph to it to warrant that price hike. Now your loyal buyers of Woodford Reserve will eat this up, but I think if you want the whiskey geek community to get in on these, you gotta give me at least some more stats on this. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review for the new Woodford Reserve Historic Entry Proof. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, find me on Instagram, find me on Twitter. Let me know if you agree with my assessment here, what you think about it. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. Until next time on The Mash and Drum, I'll see you soon. Cheers, guys.